Early public works projects were not centrally organized, but grew as a result of citizen-initiated reform or public pressure exerted on a central government or private entrepreneurship, providing a new public service. The first project types included a charter to supply drinking water, sanitary facilities to prevent disease outbreaks and epidemics, transportation and sewage systems, as well as open spaces.
The Metropolitan District Commission was formed in 1919 and was responsible for providing safe drinking water, wastewater treatment, and the establishment and management of the region's parkways.
Projects like the Hoover Dam, at the time the largest construction undertaking in the history of the United States, solidified engineers' prominence in the planning and implementation of public works due to the project's unprecedented scope and technical complexity. The Hoover Dam serves as a catalyst for institutional, technological, urban advancements, and as a model for future government-sponsored work programs.
The Great Depression left millions of able and willing Americans bewildered and jobless. In 1933, the federal government came to the help of local agencies which had fought a courageous but losing fight against the growing need for relief. But the dole was not enough. Good, sound men and women wanted to earn the help they got, to hold up their heads, to keep themselves from going rusty. Retail business needed their purchasing power to stimulate trade. And all over America, communities needed all sorts of improvements in public services, which had been cut off or postponed during the lean years when local revenues were pitifully low. The Works Progress Administration was launched late in 1935 as the key agency in the federal work program to employ able people from relief roles.
After World War II, highway construction allowed for increased distribution of industrial and residential settlements. Green highways responded directly to advancements in automotive technologies and modes of production. Housing development reflected the landscape ideals of earlier suburban developments, such as Olmsted's plan for Riverside in Chicago and Ebenezer Howard's Garden City. Housing was located further away from the dense urban core, creating centerless cities or infinite city centers.
The energy crisis of the late 1970s led to decreased investment by governments in infrastructures and public work projects. Deregulation of the airlines and energy sectors was one of the factors leading to increased privatization of infrastructural resources and service. The effect of this was defined as a splintering urbanism.
As old urban centers were remade during the 1990s as destinations for entertainment, culture, and recreation, cities began to compete with one another over quality of life issues and brand identity.
Chris Reed introduces 4 new departure points that could lead to the future development of public works projects. These include
blurring of distinctions between traditional fields of practice,
appropriation of infrastructural strategies and ecological tactics for new civic programs,
activation of multiple overlapping networks and dynamic coalitions of constituencies,
catalytic and responsive operations.
Advances in public works projects, urbanism, housing, and even ecology point to a new set of professional practices characterized by an emphasis on operational and performance-driven aspects of landscape process and urbanization, with a focus on logistics and mechanisms.